Dear holy people of God, first of all, I have two questions for you. First, can suffering and death on the cross save human sins? Second, can the cross itself have the power to save us? Some of you might say yes, some might say no, and some don't know. I say no. Suffering and death on the cross cannot save human sin. The cross itself has no power to do anything. In fact, in the time of Jesus, there were hundreds of thousands of people who were crucified. They were escaping slaves, political rebels, criminals, or pirates. Crucifixion was a form of capital punishment. The cross is like an electric chair today. It was a curse. It was dirty. It was ugly. So the suffering and death of those people could not bring any benefits to anyone. Their disgusting crosses had nothing to do with us. And today, Father Daniel will venerate the cross and tell us to behold it and to adore it. Why? What makes that cross different than all the thousands of crosses? Why that cross is different from the other two crosses on the hill of Calvary in the afternoon of Good Friday? Why? Because on that cross, the loving God sacrifices His beloved Son to reconcile human beings to Him. On that cross, Jesus reveals completely the love of God in His person. On that cross, Jesus expresses God's mercy and God's forgiveness toward human beings. In Vietnamese language, there are more than one term for the cross. The general term for the cross is thập giá, and the special term for the cross that all Catholics in the whole world today adore and worship is thánh giá, which is the Holy Cross in English. And we always use the term Holy Cross to refer to the cross that hangs Jesus. So the cross remains as an ugly cross until God shed His love on it through the suffering and death of Jesus Christ. And that cross becomes the Holy Cross, the one that we adore and venerate today. The precious blood of Christ penetrates into the grain of wood and turns that cross, a sign of condemnation, into the reality of salvation. And so we call it the Holy Cross. The shameful death of Jesus on that Holy Cross destroys the power of death and cancels all the debt of sin. In the time of Jesus, many poor people could not afford paying their debt. So the creditor could put them in prison until they pay the last penny. Jesus mentioned about this in one of His parables. If a person finished his or her payment, the creditor or the tax collector would write on the file of that debtor a phrase in Greek, "Tetelestai." That person paid in full. That person was free from debt. And today, on the holy cross, before Jesus gives up his spirit, he cries in a loud voice with that very same phrase, Tetelestai, it is finished. It is paid in full. He pays all the debts that human beings cannot afford paying, the debt of sin. That is how Jesus shows God's love, God's mercy, and God's forgiveness toward us. That is how Jesus turns the word of curse into the holy cross of blessing. That is how Jesus destroys death and gives new life. That is why we venerate and adore the holy cross today. We adore you, most holy Lord Jesus Christ, here and in all your churches throughout the whole world. And we bless you because by your holy cross, you have redeemed the world. We will soon venerate and adore the holy cross. I invite you and your family members to take a cross in your house. Venerate it with your whole love and give it to everyone in your house to do the same.